Mr. Ambassador, I would like to start this interview with one of the most important topics of today's agenda, namely the tense situation in the Persian Gulf, where Iran is sending out defiant messages to the United States, and the latter were very close to launch an attack on Iran, cancelled at the very last moment. Can the frontal conflict still be avoided?
I would like to put the Iranian issue in a more broader context. Unfortunately, Iran is looking to destabilize the Middle East. And this is the main goal of Iran, whether it's using terror as a method, whether it's by using proxies as a method to destabilize the Middle East. We see also the involvement of Iran in Syria. Wherever you find a conflict, wherever you find terror, wherever you find a problem in our region, Iran is implicated because its main goal is to destabilize the area. What we are seeing today, it's not something new for Israel. We have heard the Ayatollah's regime coming with threats towards Israel. We know for sure that Iran was involved in terror attacks against Israeli and Jewish targets in South America. We know about the activity of Iran also here in Europe. So therefore, the Iranian issue should be seen in a much larger context.
We know that the United States, right, has pulled out of the nuclear agreement with Iran. However, the EU states still support this agreement, considered to be a key element for peace in the region. Even after the rise of political and military tensions, the European leaders, namely Angela Merkel and Donald Tusk, the president of the Council of Europe, called for calm and de-escalation of the situation. Why are the United States and the European countries' policies towards Iran so different?
I think that the United States is looking in more thoroughly way at the problem of Iran. We know that the only thing that can help right now when we are talking about Iran nuclear aspirations is by increasing economic sanctions. Economic sanctions worked in the past and are working right now. Iran is under an economic pressure, and this is the only thing that can make the Iranians understand that they have to stop with their nuclear capacity. They have to stop with their nuclear aspirations. This is the goal. I don't think that there is any other goal. This is the only goal of the United States. I don't think there is any other way to make Iran understand that they should stop with their nuclear aspirations.
So do you expect that European states support American policies?
I hope, and I'm pretty sure that sooner or later also the Europeans will understand that this is the only way to make Iran understand that they should stop with their nuclear aspirations. Now, when we're talking about Iran, it's not only the nuclear aspirations. Don't forget that they are developing also missiles, long-range missiles, which can target also Europe. So it's not only the Americans who should be worried, also the Europeans. If the Iranians are taking their long-range missiles and they bring them to the front, let's say, with Syria, which is much closer than where they are, and if they bring the long-range missiles to the Syrian border and they launch it towards Europe, Europe is also under threat when it comes to the Iranian nuclear capacity.
Okay, the attitude toward Iran is not the only striking difference between United States and the European Union policies in the last few years. There's also the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the quest for an acceptable political solution, let's say it. The European Union has constantly reaffirmed its support for the two-state solution, while the US became the first state to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel by relocating its embassy to Tel Aviv. However, the United States have not been followed by many. Why do you think?
Israel is also in favor of two-state solution. This is what the Israeli government believes is the right way to solve the problem. The question is what the other state, the future Palestinian state, will be. This is the question, whether it's going to be a state of terror, whether it's going to be a state which is not democratic, whether it's going to be a tyranny like other tyrannies we are seeing in our region. First. Second, who are the leaders of the Palestinian people? Today, unfortunately, the Palestinians are split. We have the Hamas, the terrorist regime of Hamas, which rules in Gaza, and we have Mahmoud Abbas, the president who was elected more than 10 years ago by the Palestinians to be the president, who is ruling which is Jordania, which is ruling the West Bank. In other words, let's say theoretically that we want to sit, and we want to sit, not only theoretically, also practically, we want to sit with the Palestinians and to negotiate. With whom can we negotiate? With Abu Mazen, who is not representing half of his people? With Abu Mazen, who is not controlling Gaza? With Hamas, we cannot negotiate. We cannot negotiate from the simple reason that they first don't recognize Israel, second, they don't want to talk with Israel, and third, they're using only terror in order to intimidate Israel. So therefore, the situation in the region is very, very complicated. It's very easy to say, let's have a Palestinian state. By the way, this is also our interest. We don't want to keep on controlling the lives of the Palestinians. This is why we signed the Oslo agreements. This is why we withdrew from the Gaza Strip. This is why we opt for peace with our neighbors. But the question is with whom you sit and negotiate. If you don't have on the Palestinian side a partner that you can trust, then we are in a problem.
Okay, let me put it like this. Can we still talk about any kind of negotiations when the most important mediator, the Trump administration, the United States, has already decided to support one party of the conflict? Could we say that this two-state solution is now abandoned, or on the contrary, the game is reset?
I would put it this way. The fact that the Americans moved their embassy to Jerusalem has nothing to do with the future of the Palestinian state. If the Palestinians really want to have peace with Israel, if they really want to find the way out of this tragedy that both people live, the only way is to sit and to negotiate. The only way is to sit around the table of negotiations with Israel and to negotiate. This is the only way. Right now, what we are seeing is that the Palestinians are boycotting negotiations. The Palestinians, I'll give you an example. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Trump visited Israel. Few months after, the vice president of the United States, Pence, visited the region. So he visited Israel, and he wanted also to visit the Palestinian territory. What was the reaction of the Palestinian territory? They agreed, or they decided not to accept him, to boycott the visit of the vice president of the United States. Now, we all know that today we are living in a world where you have only one superpower, only the United States. And this is the administration which was democratically elected by the American people. Therefore, the Palestinians should understand that if they want to reach an agreement, they have to sit and talk. They have to admit that the Americans, which is the only superpower in the region, is the intermediator between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Look what is the Trump administration is doing right now. They are willing to find ways to help the Palestinian economy with $28 billion.
You are talking about this plane published yesterday.
Exactly. $28 billion to invest in such a small, tiny territory of the Palestinians that can transform the Palestinian Authority into Hong Kong. The question is, are they going once again, the Palestinians, are they going once again to lose this opportunity? I hope for them not.
This plan is essentially an economic one, but it was almost instantly rejected by Mr. Abbas yesterday.
I cannot understand how a president of an authority can reject a plan to improve the life of his own people by investing $28 billion in his economy.
Actually, he said that without a political solution, this economic solution cannot be applied.
This is just the beginning. The reason that the American administration is starting with the economy it has a reason behind it. Only by improving the life of the people, only by improving the economy, so people in the Palestinian Authority will understand that they have a lot to gain from peace with the Israelis. People in the street, they want to see improvement of their own life. We all know how it is. When someone lives in misery, in poverty, so he has no hope. How do you install this hope? You install this hope by bringing more blood to the economy, by bringing more money to the economy. And $28 billion that will be brought to the Palestinian economy, this is a huge boost to the economy. Therefore, it's really amazing to see the Palestinians once again rejecting this opportunity. Now, this plan, the economic plan, is just the beginning. For sure, later on, we'll see also a political part. But why don't you start now?
What you said is that one cannot make a good political decision when he is poor or hungry or in a state of war.
I'm saying that it's better for them first to improve their lives than to see that they have a lot to lose with the war, with terror, etc., etc. They will have hope, and then the probability for a political solution will be higher. There is a logic behind it.
But you know, Sunday, after we found out about this economic plan of Trump administration, Arab states, in a meeting at Cairo, I believe, promised a similar economic aid for the Palestinian Authority. Is it just a political statement, do you think?
I hope not. I hope that the Arab states also will help the Palestinian economy, because till now what we heard are only words. The support which the Palestinian Authority got from the Arab world wasn't as big as they promised. Sometimes the Arab world is paying words in order to make the Palestinians happy. What do I mean? Instead of really investing money, they are supporting them with declarations. But this does not improve the lives of the Palestinians. What the Palestinians want to see is that their economy will prosper. And this is the only way to do that, by bringing investment. So this is also the interest of Israel. This is also the interest of Europe, to see that the Palestinian Authority has a good economy which can function.
Mm-hmm. Is the last questions on this topic, because I really know that you don't like to reduce Israel at this conflict in the region. The key to the two-state solution is dividing Jerusalem and defining the city as the capital of both states. Is this scenario still feasible?
I tell you what is visible. Sitting around the table of negotiations with no preconditions.
Okay.
Every side can ask for whatever it wants to ask, and then we negotiate. How do you start a negotiation process? By sitting, willing to talking to your partner, and then it's legitimate to say, what are your demands? Unfortunately, right now, the Palestinians are refusing to sit and negotiate. After we come together, after we sit together, every side can raise whatever issue he wants. Also Jerusalem.
Fair enough. Romania, also got involved in this dispute when both the Prime Minister and the leader of the ruling party by then, Mr. Dragnea, have officially announced their intention to relocate Romania's embassy. This decision, in fact a demi-decision, because it wasn't carried out, has immediately affected Romania's relations with the other partners, such the Arab countries. At what stage are the discussions about the relocation of the embassy of Romania in Israel at this very moment?
First, I have some doubts regarding your assumption that it damaged the relationship between Romania and the Arab countries. We only saw a few days ago President Sisi visiting Romania. And you know, President Sisi, or Egypt, which is the leader of the Arab world, it says something.